At the opening of the psalm is the comforting and powerful sentence, God is our refuge and our strength, an ever-present help in times of trouble. But what I want to do is look at the immediate context of this sentence. Verses 2 and 3 say, therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. It's terrifying, those sentences, horrifying in fact. This verse is talking about the earth giving way, the earth and the ground. These are the metaphorical equivalents of security. They represent a very basic psychological, emotional, spiritual, and indeed physical needs of the human being. And for us, a crumbling world might look like the world of a parent who has lost their child or their children. It might look like the broken spirit of an abused child. It might look like the shock of serious illness or the threat of death, a concern more prevalent in recent months. In fact, there isn't one of us that hasn't in some way experienced the earth giving way beneath our feet. No matter where we go or where we look, there is nothing under the sun which is not at risk of failing us. We look around, we find something to put our hope in, and 10 times out of 10, that thing will fail us in some way. And then just like that, our world crumbles. It's a matter of when and not if. The world will always fail us. It will always give way. And of course, there will be a time and a day when that will be made clear to us. You see, there is only one true world, and it's God's world. Everything else will fade away and fail us. The only security is God's security. Our faith is not a faith which has been grown out of the earth. Our faith is a gift from God, friends. The story of the gospel is God's pursuit of man, despite his sinful persistence, not man's pursuit of God. What this means is that our faith does not have its basis in our world. As a result, it does not fluctuate with the world. It is not grounded in the world in which we look for security in. That is, the world in which there is no security and in which everything fails. And so when the world does crumble and when the earth does give way, we do not. Our faith does not. Death, disease, pain, estrangement, financial struggle, intellectual confusion, and so on, though these things leave us with seemingly no security and no sense of hope that we will at last be all right, we must remember that our faith does not have its roots in the soil from which these things come. It is God who is our refuge and strength. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. Starting from verse 6, nations are in uproar, kingdoms fall. He lifts his voice, the earth melts. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come and see what the Lord has done, the desolations he has brought on the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. And once again, here is a confirmation of God's power over the earth. His voice melts the earth. He brings it to desolation. He shatters the bow and the spear, the instruments of man. So why should we fear when the earth fails? In verse 7, the Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. And the final verses of the psalm end with the famous exhortation. He says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." And once again in verse 11, the Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Be still, says God. I am God. Be encouraged. Be warned not to trust in human efforts, but also be encouraged. No human effort and no failing of this world will pull down the faith God has given you, because it is rooted in Him. Trust in Him. Those of the Christian faith can take this truth and dwell on it. Be uplifted by it. He is with you, no matter what profound sense of horror you may feel when the very ground beneath you gives way. It is dizzying, so anchor yourself in this truth. Sing the song of holy confidence. God is our refuge and our strength.